Hey yo, Joy Closer here, and I would like to talk about a very vexing question. Don't forget it. Let's get it. Available on Spotify and all those fly platforms y'all use to download music. You can hear it in the background. Now, I would like to speak on a very vexing question in regards to God versus science. Now, oddly enough, I have wrestled with this issue, and no less of an authority on pretty much everything. Neil deGrasse Tyson does not believe in the presence of a higher being, a higher power, a creator, if you will. And most of the people on the planet do, roughly 90%. I've gone back and forth with it, but looking at it scientifically, and by science, we used established principles based on empirical data. In other words, stuff that we've seen and stuff that we have documented in terms of things that have happened on the planet in which we live. Now, when we go back in time through carbon dating and things of that nature, we see the dinosaurs dominated the land far longer than we have, certainly to this point, in terms of their appearances on Earth, and again, being the dominant species. Now, this was done just through sheer numbers. And the ability to dominate through sheer numbers, variances, diversity within the species. Some could fly, some could swim, some were carnivores, some were herbivores, surviving off the vegetation of the land. And that's definitely something to think about when you talk about, okay, the Big Bang Theory. Well, you have all these things in place, like vegetation and bodies of water, which facilitate life and living in place. Okay. Once you get past that and you arrive to where the first humans were known to be in existence on the planet, the differences between humans and other species, animals, mammals, what have you, are our ability to use technology or tools. Okay, so if you subscribe to the theory that we are descendant of primates, Darwinism, evolution of the species. Well, the difference between us and primates, besides physical appearance and walking upright, is the opposable thumbs and the brain power in order to create and to utilize technology, i.e. tools, beginning with the wheel, levers, fulcrums, things of this nature, okay? Shovels, pickaxes, stuff of this nature, okay? Designed to help us live our lives more effectively and efficiently. Now, we can apply other things to it that we can link to the existence of a higher power. Things like emotion, love, karmic payment, the different emotions that we have, in our minds. Some would argue, well, we have a larger brain, so there's more room for these things. We created these things much like we created tools and things of this nature. To me, it is a stretch to say that all at once we began to walk upright and descended from primates, also bang, got the opposable thumbs, also bang, got more ability to cognitively think, store information, and use knowledge. Scientifically, to me, that is a stretch. So, despite the God versus science argument, it's my belief that there are just too many coincidences and things that are blown past in terms of our ability to create emotions which to me aren't really scientific and don't have anything to do with it, which brings me back to the faith and the heart and the soul thing, which separates us from the other animals. Now, other inhabitants of the planet. Now, afterlife, heaven and hell, religious doctrine, to me, these things are different and separate and cannot be explained by science. We just know that they exist. Again, I do not pretend to have the answers. It is an evolving process for me in terms of thinking about vexing questions of this nature. We all think about our future, the heretofore, where are we going, where will we end up, what happens when we die. I certainly don't have the answers there. But the more and more that I look at it, the more and more that I try to disprove the existence of a higher power, i.e. a creator, in whatever form or fashion you see that creator in. God, Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, whatever form or fashion you see that being in. To me, science has proven that there is a creator. And things like emotions, love, the spirit of paying it forward, yes, they buoy that, but in and of themselves do not prove it. I myself have a hard time making the jump from, plankton protozoa evolving under the ocean, working its way to the outer terrain, terrestrial earth, land, if you will, and then evolving over time. Now, there's been a lot of time that the earth has been around, and physical mutations can occur over thousands of years. Genetic mutations take much longer. There has been enough time for this to happen, but seeing the progression from primates, apes, to humans, I'm just not seeing it. It is a hell of a jump. And I will also add this. As physical beings, humans, we're not particularly strong. We're not particularly fast, runners or swimmers. We can't fly. How have we managed to dominate since the earliest times of our existence? Again, it's the ability to create and to use technology. The mind being stronger than the body. Because again, if it was a speed and strength thing, we are way down the list in terms of physical ability of other species on the planet. So, I am just not seeing a progression from, as I said, an organism that mutated, started in the sea, came on land, became multiple other different life forms, and then evolved from primates to beings with opposable thumbs, allows you to make and use tools, okay, and an intellect that allows you to create a livable landscape for yourself to continue living. Now, that's the funny thing. Landscape. It's really interesting that the earth grows food that humans and animals can eat. That's pretty interesting to me. I'm not seeing a Big Bang sequence there. I'm just not. Especially given, once again, the variance of the types of foods that exist on the planet that we can eat. And you can even rule out and leave out eating meat, eating other animals. You can leave that out. You can just look at the diversity of fruits and vegetables, grains, seeds, nuts, things of this nature. And I'm sorry, it's too perfect of a fit to be random. It really is. Too perfect of a fit to be random. Now, here and again, I do not portend to have any idea what is, if there is indeed one correct religious doctrine. I do not portend to have any idea what happens when we die, when we leave our physical form as presently incarnated, if you will. I have no idea. And I'm not even speaking to the links between those and God. What I am saying is that it just fits too perfectly in a scientific sense to be where we are, to be given the start that we were given, to be able to live and breathe and survive on this planet. It just makes too much sense that, again, given our ability to create, that there is a creator. I won't speak in terms of doctrine, of how to live your life, of karmic influence, whether or not you believe in it. Again, it's a personal choice. But in being a doubting Thomas, if you will, also something from religious doctrine, being a doubting Thomas, if you will, I have tried to reason why and how we got here. We've been able to dominate, how we've progressed, and how all this stuff happened. And I'm sorry, the evidence points to there being a creator. Now, again, I have no idea what happens when we die. I've never died before. Come pretty close several times. Probably should have a few times. But the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I believe that there is a creator. And I firmly believe that I have reached this conclusion by looking at the science of it. I cannot see the science to disprove it. Now, again, some will say, well, just because you don't disprove something doesn't necessarily mean that you prove it. Okay. But again, there are too many leaps and too many situations that are just too perfect to be random, to be the result of a Big Bang theory, if you will. Big Bang combined with evolution. It just is too perfect, especially given where we've arrived as a species. Those are my thoughts. And again, as somebody that has had personal ups and downs like anybody, everybody takes L's in this life. We all do. It is, if you ask me today, I believe it's apparent that there is a creator, that there is a higher power. How we go about honoring that higher power, if that higher power even needs our honor, I don't know. I do not once again purport to have all the answers. These are my thoughts today as we sit here right now, September 19th, 10:40 a.m. Central Time in the year 2023 of our Creator. Do me a favor, y'all. Line it up. Go to Spotify. And please download Let's Get It. Joey Closer. And I'm out.